Okay, so for question 21, we are going to use Desmos again. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in this equation. Okay, so give me 1 second. All right, so I have this exponential equation here. Okay, so we're going to use the graph to help us figure out which of these answer choices is correct. So the first one says the graph has a vertical asymptote. All right, if you notice, our graph has an asymptote right here at y equals 0, but it is a horizontal asymptote. So that is not true. Okay, the next thing it says is the graph crosses the y-axis at 2 ninths. Okay, if you notice, it crosses at 0.33, which is 1/3. Okay, so that is also not true. C says the graph has an asymptote at y equals 1/3. Now we already said the asymptote is at y equals 0, so that is also not true, leaving us with answer choice D. Answer choice D says the graph decreases from left to right, which it in fact does. Number 22, I can factor using my AC chart like normal, or I can type it into my graph. So I'm going to do it the second way this time so you can see exactly how that works. So I start by typing my original equation, 2x squared minus 4x minus 5, and then I'm going to type in my first answer choice, 2x plus 1 times x plus 1. You notice they are nothing alike, so that's not our answer. Let's try the next answer choice. 2x minus 5, x plus 1. Also not the same. So again, not our answer. Let's try the next one. 2x plus 1. Times x minus 5. Still not our answer, which leaves us one choice. Not factorable, which in other words is prime. Number 23 says a drummer and a guitarist each wrote songs for their band. The guitarist wrote 8 fewer than twice the number of songs that the drummer wrote. They wrote a total of 46 songs. Which system of equations models this situation if the drummer wrote D songs and the guitarist wrote G songs? Okay, so I'm going to start with the total number of songs. The number that the guitarist wrote plus the number that the drummer wrote is equal to 46. Okay? Then it says the guitarist, G, wrote 8 fewer, so 8 fewer, than twice the number of songs that the drummer wrote, so 2D minus 8. Then I'm going to see which of those systems matches. Okay? Number 1 does match. G equals 2D minus 8, G plus D equals 46. So that is going to be our answer. Number 24 says a bus travels 2 different routes, the green route and the blue route. The routes are different lengths. On Monday, the bus traveled the green route 6 times and the blue route 5 times, traveling a total of 52 miles. On Tuesday, the bus traveled the green route 12 times and the blue route 13 times, traveling a total of 119 miles. What is the length of the green route in miles? So for this, I'm going to have to write and solve a system. So my 2 variables are going to be green route, or G, and blue route, or B. Then I'm going to use these 2 statements right here to write my two equations. So the first one says, on Monday, it traveled the green route 6 times and the blue route 5 times for a total of 52 miles. Then the next sentence says, on Tuesday, it traveled the green route 12 times and the blue route 13 times for a total of 119 miles. Okay. Now that I've written it, I need to solve it. Now, just like before, it's set up for elimination, so I need to see what I can eliminate. I notice that if I multiply this top equation by negative 2, my g's will cancel. Negative 2 times 6g is negative 12g. Negative 2 times 5b is negative 10b. Negative 2 times 54 is negative 104. Then I'm going to add these two equations together. My g's cancel, and I get 3b is equal to, this leaves me with 15, which means if I divide both of those by 3, b is equal to 5. But we don't want the blue route. We want the length of the green route. So I have to plug it into one of these original equations to solve for g. I'm just going to use the top one because it has smaller numbers. So 6g plus 5 times b, which is 5, equals 52. Well, 5 times 5, that's 25. So 6g plus 25 is equal to 52. Now I'm going to subtract 25 from both sides, and I get 6g is equal to 27. Then I divide both sides by 6, and I'm going to figure out what that decimal is. So I get out my calculator. 27 divided by 6 gives me 4.5. So my answer is G, 4.5 miles. Number 25 says, which expression is equivalent to 9q squared minus 2/3 times 3q minus 7 plus 5q squared? Okay, so first thing I need to do is eliminate these parentheses by distributing. So I have 9q squared minus 2/3 times 3q is negative 2q plus 14/3 plus 5q squared. Okay, so now the only thing left is to combine like terms, and our only like terms here are these q squared. So 9q squared plus 5q squared is going to give us 14q squared. And we have minus 2q plus 14/3. And then I just find the answer choice that matches, which in this case is answer choice C. Okay. And then the next one says, which graph represents a function with a domain of all real numbers greater than or equal to -7 and less than 2? So domain means x. So I'm going to start by drawing lines at -7 and 2 on my x-axis. Okay. If you notice, -7 would be somewhere over here. Okay. Again, somewhere over here and 2. Somewhere over here and 2. Right here to here. The only graph that is between our two lines is graph D. So D is our answer. This didn't come anywhere close to -7. This didn't come close to -7. And this didn't come close to -7. This is the only one that hit the values between -7 and 2. 27 says, a sports magazine prints 12 issues per year and a technology magazine prints 10 issues per year. The total number of pages in all the issues of the sports magazine for 1 year is 32 more than total number of pages in all of the issues of the technology magazine for 1 year. Each issue of the sports magazine has 18 fewer pages than each issue of the technology magazine. Which system of equations can we use to find S, the number of pages in each issue of the sports magazine, and T, the number of pages in each issue of the technology magazine? Okay. So this second sentence says the total number of pages in all the issues of the sports magazines. Okay, so if there's 12 sports magazines, that's going to say 12S is equal to, is total number of pages for 1 year is 32 more than, so 32 more than the total number of pages in all the issues of the technology, which is 10 issues. So 12S is equal to 10S plus 32. But then it also says each issue of the sports magazine, so again, S equals, is 18 fewer pages than the technology, T minus 18. So then you just find the equation that matches. Now, it is cut off a little bit, but we can see that oops, I made one mistake. This ugly squiggle right here is supposed to be a T. Please excuse my mistake. So the total number of sports magazines for 1 year is 32 more than the technology. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Which means our answer is going to be A. Answer choice B, the T and the S are flipped. Okay, on answer choice C, the 10 and the 12 are flipped. And answer choice D, S and T are flipped here. So it leaves us with A. Okay. Now, number 28 says the graph of an exponential function is shown on the grid. Based on the graph, which statement about the function is true? A says the range is the set of all real numbers less than 0. So range is y, so this is saying all y values less than 0. Okay? As you can see, it never touches anything less than 0, so that's not true. B says the domain is the set of all real numbers greater than -4. So it's saying only these values over here. Okay? But if you look at the graph, you can see that it's going to continue on and hit values over here. So that's not true either. Okay? Answer choice C says the range is a set of all real numbers greater than 0. So everything greater than 0, which is true. The range only hits all the numbers greater than 0. We can check the last one just to be sure. D says the domain is a set of all real numbers less than -4. So it's saying just the values over here. And from the graph, we can see that's not true because it hits all of these values greater than -4 as well. So that means our answer is, in fact, C. Number 29 says, what is the solution to this system of equations? 10x minus y is equal to 53, and y equals -13 plus 92 over 2. -13x plus 92 over 2. Now, we've talked about there are 3 ways to solve. We've done substitution, we've done elimination, but we haven't done anything with graphing. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to graph this so you can find a solution. In order to be able to graph, we have to get y by itself. If you notice, we have y by itself in the second equation, but not the first. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get y by itself in this first equation. All right, to do that, the first thing I need to do is subtract this 10x to the other side because I want y to be the only thing there. So that gives me -y is equal to -10x plus 53. Now, y is almost by itself, okay, but I need to get rid of that negative. So I'm going to divide both sides by -1. I'm going to divide everything on both sides, and I get y is equal to positive 10x minus 53. And now that I have y by itself in both equations, I can graph this in Desmos. Okay, so I'm going to clear off my graph, and I'm going to start with this equation. Doesn't want to stay. Let me try moving it over here. Okay. So my first equation is y equals 10x minus 53. My second equation is y equals -13x plus 92 divided by 2. Okay? And if you notice, the two graphs intersect right here at 6, 7. Okay, the solution to any system on a graph is where they intersect, so our solution is 6, 7. Answer choice A. The last one I'm going to do in this video is number 30. And number 30 says, how many solutions does the following function have? Okay, if you notice, the function crosses the x-axis at one place, so that means it has one solution. which means our answer is D.